Hello everyone. This is Anthony Ordon. You may remember me from the last time we did a stream on guild content. We ran the brand new puzzle that went into Snowden Drifts. Today we're going to be kind of going over the basics of guild content, in case you're just trying to get started or haven't started yet and you're curious about it. And then to kind of cap it off, I think we'll go ahead and run one of my favorite guild races. We're going to go to the one that's in it's in Lornar's Pass. So to get there, you're going to go ahead and go to the Refuge Peak waypoint, and join me if you want to join me on Stormbluff Isle. So it's Refuge Peak waypoint, and then just go ahead and head west up until this little nook area up into the mountain, and hang out by the entrance to the guild race start point. You should see a guy there standing there with an ANET tag. So anyway. Back to the guild content guide. A lot of questions sometimes we get asked about, like, how do we get started in guild content? What do we do if there's a small guild? You know, that kind of stuff. Basically, I'll sort of walk you through there. For the most part, you're going to find your guild upgrades, or your guild content upgrades inside of your guild panel here. And you're going to go to upgrades. You'll need somebody who has the authority to do this, but the basic place to start in guild content is with guild bounty. You do require, I think it's tier 4 of Art of War. You can see the ArenaNet guild here doesn't even have that yet. So basically what you're going to need to kind of get started here is you're going to need a lot of influence, a little bit of time. Basically, you know, to get influence, you can basically just play any part of the game. It's always good to check in on your history here and see how much influence you're gaining. Basically, any activity will give you influence. You can do events, you can do PvP, you can do World v. World, all that kind of stuff. It's all going to gain you influence. There's a couple of places where you can actually spend some money, or some gold rather, to get influence. And then, so once you start accruing that, you basically start going through and researching your tiers, right? The other way to get influence really fast as far as guild content goes is you can run the training mission. And so there's a, inside of Art of War, you'll find this little upgrade called Guild Bounty Training. It only costs 300 influence to activate. And then basically what it does is it kind of has a long build time, 3 days, and then once it's ready to go, you can play it with your friends, or you can play it with your guild rather, and then you get 3,000 influence in return. So the nice thing to do is just sort of add this to your queue, you know, early on in the week, and then sort of wait, you know, until, like, you know, schedule a time with your guild mates, and then you know, like Friday night or whatever, and then, you know, how it's ready to go, and then you can just run these whenever you're ready. And so basically, I'm going to go ahead and just show you. You can, with any upgrade, you can reduce the build time by a significant percentage just by spending some influence. That does sort of make these less rewarding. But if you are sort of pretty much good to go on influence and you just want to sort of practice, a good thing that, you know, you can probably just speed these guys up and then just activate them, and then you can sort of run the training missions. And so this is sort of just you know, an easy way for you to get exposure to the system and start playing guild content right away. And so whenever you finish researching an upgrade, you're going to find it in your current upgrades area, and it'll be down here under consumables. And so you'll see it there, Guild Bounty Training. And then when you hit activate, what you're going to see is this little guy over here. It'll pop up with an exclamation point, and then we're going to basically, it'll tell you what your objectives are. And so Bounty Hunt Training, it says you have 14 minutes left, and our task is to head down Breckabrek, who is wanted for illegally attempting to keep a bear as a pet. So this guy is actually in a different map, but you know, if we were running this one, we'd go chase that guy down. And then so once you basically start going there, you know, get the influence, and unlock your upgrades, you can start researching the actual tiers of guild missions. And so it starts here with Guild Bounty, and then you'll unlock that with the Guild Bounty upgrade here. And then you just activate that just like this, the one we just did. Research that up, and then you can go ahead and get started. And so the way these sort of work here is that every guild mission that you complete has basically a set of rewards to it. And so there's two types of rewards. There's your personal reward for completing the guild mission, and this usually includes a bunch of gold and some items, and then also two items called guild accommodations. And the guild accommodations are for use at the Lion's Arch vendor. He's by the guild bank and all that stuff. And you can spend those to get various upgrades that are both related to guilds and also just good for personal character progression. And then the other thing that you get when you finish missions is you get merits. And so merits are used to unlock some higher level guild content. So for example, the guild treks or the guild puzzles, guild challenges, that kind of stuff. And you can see down here that to unlock guild challenges, you actually need 50 merits, or 150 merits rather. And so you can see this is kind of a, it's kind of a heavy task, and it's meant for people, to sort of get together, work on this stuff. There's a lot of long-term progression in here, and if you keep working on it, you should be able to, sort of unlock this stuff in a progression, and always have something new to do every week. And the other great thing about this is that this is super, this is like super easy for us to, as developers to add on to it. And so, look forward to, later this year, I'm sure there's going to be more teams shipping more guild missions, keep adding to that list and making this content, super, super exciting and fresh. This is also a great avenue for us to add, for a living role team to add permanent content as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So basically, the progression of guild missions goes from guild bounty, and there's different tiers of guild bounty. Basically, the higher tiers are for bigger guilds, and they let you accrue some merits a little bit faster, and they're also a bit more challenging. And then there's from there it goes to guild treks. Guild treks are sort of like a scavenger hunt for the entire guild. These have a personal reward of actually, actually a guild reward that actually just gives you more influence. And so these are actually another great way for your guild to earn a bunch of influence, while you're working towards some of these missions. And then from guild treks, it goes to guild races, which we're about to do today. And then from guild races to guild challenges. Guild challenges are just a wide variety of sort of exciting missions that you can trigger. Basically, everyone around you can sort of pitch in, and then there's a couple of usually special mechanics just for your guild to control. So in some cases, it's like special weapons that you can access, or special upgrades from the mission, or things of that nature. And then after that, the final one is guild puzzle, and that's like a big open world area that you can unlock. And it's a big complicated sort of jumping puzzle mixed with problem solving and coordination challenges and stuff like that. And so the basic idea for most of this content is that it's just about getting big groups of people, bigger than groups of 5, to sort of coordinate, and gives people that challenge of I want to take the massively multiplayer aspect of Guild Wars 2 and really find a challenge there. So without further ado, I guess we can start this guild race up. And so normally you would just trigger this off with a, with a guild mission consumable, and it usually picks one randomly. But we're going to use our secret dev powers to activate this one. And so the basic idea of guild races is that they sort of start down here. At this little area here that says Guild Rush, and then when you talk to this banner, it asks you, gives you a little explanation about what the Guild Rush is. And so this one will tell you you'll be transformed into a bear, and you'll have to dodge traps and enemies while rushing the course. And then how well you want over to go, and it'll tell you about checkpoints. You'll see some checkpoints on the map, and then you can just say, okay, sign me up. And so when you sign up for this thing, you turn into this little bear, and then you have a couple of different skills that'll help you get through this puzzle, this race. And so the objective is basically to get 15 people through this race. They don't necessarily have to be people from your guild, but if you want your guild to receive credit for the race, what you're going to have to do is at least get one of your guild members to do there, I believe. And so here we go. And so you can see on my map here, I've got these checkpoints, and it says Gate 1, Gate 2. So we're just going to head towards Gate 2. Now these are kind of tricky. There's a bunch of traps sitting around, and so you can use your number 1 skill to sort of find them. Or you can follow your buddies through the race here. And that is a little health orb. Pick her up. There. All right. And then there's a couple other ones in here. We got eat leftovers, consume a leftover to regain health. That was the orb that we just passed. Oops, I'm not searching for my traps, and I'm not following my guild members here. The other thing that you have to watch out for in here is the base spawns, and so the base spawns totally got me, and so when you die, you get this thing that says, would you like to return to the starting line, and you hit yes, and it just takes you right back there. So let's give this another shot. So basically, you know, the big thing to remember is that you're trying to coordinate here, trying to work together, and so sometimes an effective strategy might be to actually have one of your guild members sort of, you know, run ahead, clear out some of the base spawns, that sort of thing. Yep, messed it up again. I'm going to eat my leftovers here. The last one is, the last skill here is Snowball, which gives you some immunity unless you roll through these traps and these base spawns without getting hit. Oh, and somebody left some health kits there for us. Super cool. So let's just keep running. All right, got some deadly traps here. That snowball skill has a really long cooldown, so you have to be super careful about when you use it. Now in this one there's actually a champion ice worm, so again it helps if you get somebody to run ahead and clear this out for you, or a group. But if not, you can sort of slip by them. We got here a Mesmer helping us out with some stealth. Yeah, so lots of working together. Oh, forgot to hit a trap. So there's me getting defeated again. Let's go back to the start. Try it one more time. So I do have the Twitch chat room up. If you're welcome to go ahead and ask questions if you'd like. I'll sort of try to multitask here. Tricky thing about these is really the traps, and so I'm usually more of a follower when it comes to these things, so now I'm kind of by myself. Well, you guys ever return the low cooldowns at Cursed Shore? I'm not really sure what that question is in relation to. Right now I've been working mostly on the guild content, and some living story updates, but I think the purpose of the session is really just to do the guild content stuff. I feel furious. There we go. Super big shout out to my Mesmer friends here that are helping me get through this thing. I'm in a small guild with 6 of my friends. Can we do as much content as larger guild can? You certainly can. You know, the thing is, it is going to take you a little longer to do it if you're not working with as many people. But, you know, like I said, you start with those training missions. You know, start small. And the other thing that you can do that's super helpful is just working with other small guilds. You know, find another guild of 6 people, you know, work with them to work on their missions, and they can help you with your missions, you know, and sort of go back and forth. I ate it on a trap here again. It's a little hard to do both at the same time. As a warrior player, do I think the new patch nerfs warriors? Oops, look like they deleted that one. You know, personally, I've always felt that the warrior is pretty well balanced, and it just suits my style really well. I haven't really noticed any major inability for me to play now or anything like that. I feel like the warrior is pretty much where it needs to be. So far we've got 23 minutes left on this course, and nobody has completed yet. So I think next time I die, maybe I'll just kind of run back and run some interference for my fellow bears here. Let's see. Does any of this content help promote guilds? Well, I certainly does think it helps promote guilds. Certainly gives your guild something to do. It also gives you guys some rewards that you can earn together that you can only earn if you're working together with guilds. You know, if it's, you know, if you're talking about helping promote your guild, oh, I see, promote your guild as in advertising for other people, then yeah, I absolutely think that, you know, if you're looking, you know, especially to recruit people, you know, lots of people are interested in doing this content, you know, and so as you continue to work on guild missions, I think it absolutely does help your guild become more attractive to other players to join, you know, especially if you guys are, I think more than anything, it's less important to have all the missions unlocked as much as it is to sort of, you know, be a guild that's going to establish a schedule for running these things, you know, and working together and sort of, you know, I know I'm kind of losing my words here, but, you know, you're sort of, you know, you're building, you know, like a community, you know, for yourselves. And so I think that's more than anything what this guild content gives you an opportunity to do, you know, and I think some of the guilds that I'm in, you know, that are running these missions, some of them daily or, you know, weekly, you know, I think that keeps me coming back to the game and playing with those guys because I know that I can log in on Sundays and expect them to be running a mission. Somebody asked, what server are we playing on? We're playing on Stormbuff Isle. Are there multiple events like this across the world? Do they spawn in random time? So the way guild content works is that it's all triggered by a guild, and so when you get a guild mission, it'll tell you where that guild mission is and where you'll have to go, and then when you get there, there'll be a button for you to, or if you interact with the banner, it'll allow you to activate. And so the other important thing to call out is when you're activating the guild content, you have to have somebody with the rank permission to do so, and so you'll see that in here. Let's see. So there'll be rank, and then we have you know, mission control is the button you're looking for. Let's see, another question. I'm a bit of a lone wolf in MMOs because I'm terrified that I'm a huge noob, but I really love the jumping puzzles. Will I kind of have to force myself out of my little bubble into a guild to experience the puzzles? So I think there's a lot of puzzles in the game that are perfectly suited for one player at a time. I think the guild puzzles have this sort of cooperative aspect to them that makes them a little special. I think, you know, in order to do a guild puzzle, you're not going to be able to do it without working with at least 5 other players. And so, you know, but that doesn't mean that you have to start a guild or even join a guild necessarily. I mean, you know, if you can find a guild to sort of hang out with, you know, and experience these puzzles, there's nothing that stops you from running the puzzles, you know, in cooperation with other guilds. A quick, is there an ETA on the next batch of new missions? I can't give you an exact ETA, but I definitely know that, you know, we're trying to focus more on permanent upgrades to the game, and I think guild missions are a great place to do it. And so certainly on my Living World team, I'm trying very hard to make guild missions a priority, and I'm certain that we'll get some in, you know, before the end of the year. Let's see here. With the idea of raiding Guild Wars 2, however it could work, could we see a possibility of guild missions added to dungeons or other things like dungeons, future raid possibilities, etc.? For example, a bounty in a dungeon or a lore within dungeons. I think doing the bounty in a dungeon is a really interesting idea. I don't think we've ever had that idea before come up, but I'm not sure exactly how it will work because you can only get 5 people into a dungeon. But it's a really cool idea. There's also, you know, the possibility of us adding, you know, additional kinds of categories to guild missions. And so, like, if let's say that we were going to add, you know, special, you know, instances for guild or something like that. I'm not saying that we are, but you know, in the future, I think the possibilities are just wide open. You know, there's nothing to stop us from going in and, you know, adding, you know, either additional things, oops, sorry, wrong panel, additional things to these categories, or even just, you know, going on and just saying, you know, let's go ahead and add another one of these, you know, categories entirely, and that's a new type of content. I think that would be great. Any chance of, so as far as guild features, I know that a lot of people are sort of clamoring for those kind of improvements, and we do have, you know, teams that are looking for, you know, looking at improvements to the social aspect of the game. And interfaces and stuff like that. I'm not involved with that team, fortunately, so I can't really answer those questions. Why have every other mission type locked behind bounties? You know, it was a design decision. You know, we did it to sort of give people something to work towards. You know, we wanted, you know, the challenges to not just, you know, reward you with, you know, player rewards and stuff. We really were hoping to is sort of have these challenges reward you with, you know, additional types of challenges. And so, you know, one thing that we don't really do elsewhere in the game is unlock different types of content as you progress. And so I think this was a really good place to do it. And also, I think guild bounties just serve as a really good starting point as far as, you know, getting people in there and getting people familiar with some very low, you know, barrier to entry type of missions where you just have to work together, you know, in a minor fashion. And then once you unlock, you know, the actual guild, the first tier of guild bounties after you've done the training missions, you know, you'll get a better sense of, you know, or you'll get a higher challenge of coordination, and you'll actually have to split up into multiple groups and sort of work together that way. Let's see here. What else do we have in the chat? Are guild leaders going to get back the ability to see the last on for their members? I don't know. Do you think that there will ever be guild achievements and titles to show off completion of these missions? Actually, one of the first ideas that we had when we started working on guild content was, you know, we started with this idea of guild achievements. And these would be sort of things that you could go out in the world and pursue together as a guild. It's really so the problem with guild achievements is that we kind of need a place to display it, and so we talked a lot about, you know, additions to make to this panel, you know, and where we would put it, and, you know, how we would display that. And I think that's something that we definitely want to do eventually still. But I think when we started with the idea of, like, well, you know, we want to build content that guilds can do, we moved more towards something that you as a guild can activate, can unlock it in the open world, and then you guys can play it together. Whereas opposed to sort of achievements that you can sort of pick at, you know, one by one and sort of play, you know, separately. And that's what we were sort of afraid that just doing achievements would lead to, is a bunch of activities that already sort of exist in the game. You know, whereas guild missions are these sort of, you know, like you build up to them, you unlock them, you play them all together at the same time. And so it encourages a lot of, you know, sort of like, we're going to get online, we're going to play together, we're going to play at the same time, we're going to play with each other, not just play separately, but then, you know, be in a chat room together, you know, so. I think that's why we went there. But I definitely think that we'd like to see achievements in the future for, you know, like people completing guild missions, or you know, people completing guild missions extra fast, or, you know, who knows. There's certainly a lot of possibilities out there. Am I happy with the current state of guild missions? Would there be anything you could change about the implementation of them if I could? I think, you know, ultimately there was, you know, we got the guild missions to a place where I was really happy with them. I would like to see more guild missions, honestly. I would like to see more in each category and more categories of them. But I think we've got a good set of missions to start with. I would also like to see, you know, some of the guild challenge missions. I think I wish they would scale a little higher for larger guilds. Because, you know, I think we've got a good set of content in here for guilds, anywhere between the size of, you know, 5 to 10 to 50. But you know, I think we need something to cater to guilds of 100 or 200. You know, and right now we just don't really have, you know, the kind of scaling on our current guild challenges to sort of support that. But what I'd like to see, you know, in the future is us doing more things that can support larger guilds and that sort of thing. And the other thing, you know, that I think we can still make some improvements with the UI. We did an update shortly after the guild content update to add this mission panel. I think this was a huge step in the right direction. You know, I think there's, you know, probably some room to grow here. You know, and I think just more support for guild features would be great. But I mean, ultimately, I'm really happy with what we have, so far for guilds.
Swift and steady.
Dungeon Finder type thing with guild missions is an option. I know that we are still working on an LFD tool. I'm not sure exactly what features are going to be available in there, but I think that's a good idea. Will there be more incentives for guilds that have already unlocked most, if not all, the guild mission content? Yeah, and so I think for these guilds that are already at their merit cap and they're not really they're still trying to unlock stuff. I think there's certainly I think we should add more categories, some more progression for you guys, more content for you guys to play. I think we should add new types or new missions within the categories themselves. I also think that we should add more merit rewards for you guys to purchase, and so we should add some really great things that you can buy out of these tabs for merits. And if ever, eventually down the line, if we work on, additional parts of the game, like, hypothetically, if we did housing or, guild halls, I think, sort of interweaving guild content, and guild achievements and stuff with, sort of unlocks and rewards, I think that would be the best, version of that, where, you can sort of play guild content and then guild rewards for your guild. Do I feel extra pressure on the dev team to perfect guild missions, seeing as the game is called Guild Wars 2? I do not feel extra pressure, but I felt a lot of pressure as it was because I really wanted to get some content in there for guilds to play. Trainings don't give merits to progress towards other guild missions. Yeah, that's true. In order to get merits, you're definitely going to have to do actual guild content, not the training missions. Considering the limitation on how many guilds you can be a part of and the massive scope of activities that are guild related, do you think at some point it would be logical to lift the limitation, considering that most guild focus can the guild can focus on a certain aspect, and that we can agree that there are more than 5 specific activities in GW2? I think that's a really big question. I think that the limitations are in place to sort of guide you through the content. I know that there's a lot of people that are, sort of, still working on lower tiers and stuff like that. But I think having the things to work towards and having the different types of content to unlock is going to be, really beneficial in the long term for the guilds. And I think, it's not like, once you've unlocked the content, you have to keep playing it every week. But I do think it's important to work through the progression of content. Will there ever be a ping assist on the map like you've done for instances? So I'm not sure exactly what the question is, but are you talking about doing something like this? Because you can already ping the map.
I could outrun a
Also, you can draw on it. Command type tags for guild missions that only guild members could see would be awesome too. So like tagging something for your party. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about those features. That would be a sort of a larger upgrade to the game. So actually, let's since the chat's died down a little bit, let's head to the end of this puzzle. Or do we still have people running it? Looks like we have 15 completed. So let's go back and find a bear who's still trying to get through. Look, this bear's got a little army following him around. We'll get him through. Oh, the limitation of 5 guilds, or being in 5 guilds at a time. Again, I'm not really sure about that's not really, I'm more focused on the content aspect of guild missions, and so I don't really have much information about guild features. Oh, somebody heal him. Okay, I'm not set up to heal. Maybe if I throw down my war banner.
Quickly.
Oops. any thoughts on a better tagging system, especially for bounty hunts? I think the tagging system, as is right now, works pretty okay. It should be fairly easy to get participation as long as you're actually playing in the event. You shouldn't have to worry too much about getting being able to tag on a map for the whole bounty. Oh, I see. So putting down a marker. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Again, that would be a larger feature for the guild. I know right now when you click on a when you activate a mission, when you activate a puzzle mission, you can see there's a button that says "Show Me," and it'll ask you, or you can basically see where the guild content is. We're actually working on trying to get some of that stuff, like basically a bigger selection. Like, so if you do a challenge or a race, putting a little more granularity on that show me button, so it shows you exactly where you need to go. And then perhaps for bounties, since they can tend to be spread out and sort of all over the place, we can kind of show you maybe a more exact area where you would go to find them if you're having trouble finding them. But ultimately the task of finding the bounty is sort of part of the challenge, and then the communication with your guild. It would be nice to get some UI in there, but we just don't have that kind of thing at this time. Oh, how do you ping in lines on the map? You hold down Shift and then you click. Will I ever add personal rewards by helping people do guild missions that can give us titles or another way of getting guild armor? I'm not exactly sure. That's a good question for another team that's probably working on guild content. Right now, my focus on the content design team is on Living World stuff. So I'm not really sure if adding achievements would be for guild stuff would be part of the scope for Living World. But I can certainly ask. I'll go ahead and carry that question forward to some of our achievement designers. I've considered having loot tables for guild missions instead of 2 random pieces for the equipment. Actually, so there is a specific loot table for guild missions. It just happens to include a lot of rares and exotics, but there's a bunch of other stuff in that loot table itself. So when you finish a guild mission, you get that personal reward. You can also get things like anything from the guild vendor, basically. You can get the tonics, you can get the different skins and such. And all that stuff can usually be received from that panel. And it looks like we're 9 out of 15 completed here, and we've got 6 minutes left. I guess I'll head back to the start and see if I can get some people to run some more.
I call upon the storm's power for great justice.
It's actually a lot harder to find your way back when you're not doing the race. So as far as actual content available, there is, I think there is approximately 20 guild bounty hunts. I think there's somewhere on the lines of 6 or 7 guild races. There's, I think, almost 200 guild trek locations to discover. There are, I think, 3 guild puzzles right now, and I think there's 6 or 7 different guild challenges. And so I think a great focus for, a great potential category of content for a Living World team to add would be additional things to fill those categories out some more. I'd definitely like to see some more guild challenges and guild races or guild puzzles for that matter. Another tip for a small guild who's, sort of, just trying to get started with some of these, you can always ask for help on the map. You can ask for help, in Lion's Arch. I find that usually if we're going to run a guild mission, we sort of just invite, passerbys to the guild. So the more open that you are with, recruiting and stuff, the easier it might be to do some of these ones, especially the early tiers. Guild bounty hunts and guild treks. There's some people out there who are getting a lot of experience at hunting down these targets, so I would definitely try to lean on the community a little bit.
Refreshing. For great justice.
Almost back to the start. So it looks like we've got 6 people that need to finish the race. So if we can get probably 10 people or so turned into bears, and the rest sort of running to help. And I'll try to pay a little more attention this time. Yep. Got a little too close to that falling rock.
Barely.
Unfortunately, I haven't actually done this race too often. I'm kind of rusty, but this is actually one of my favorite ones. All right, there's the rock traps. Also, baby polar bears are cute. Missed it again. I think I'll just go ahead and go help some of the other guys out. I think Ruby's over there laughing at me.
For great justice.
Well, we've got a minute left. I don't think we're going to make it. So definitely, some better communication and coordination would have helped us out here. Obviously, when you're answering questions in chat, it's kind of hard to play at the same time. But, I think we're a little better than halfway. So, just a little more effort, and we would have been fine. Got about 45 seconds left. There's always usually sort of a benefit, for coming into these puzzles when other guilds are running them and helping them out. If you finish this race, when you get to the end, you'll be rewarded with a chest similar to the type of loot that you would get out of a jumping puzzle. It looks like we are not going to make it. Oh, that's too bad. Ran out of time. Well, I think that's pretty much all that we have for today. So I appreciate your guys' help and showing up and asking questions. Feel free to add me to your friends list, and be happy to run some guild missions with you sometime. Thanks for coming.